Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog. Needed to get some hydration in last minute.
What? You, Ryan, while the theme song was going, Ryan sprinted into the office portion, grabbed something. I didn't see what it was. Was it your LaCroix?
It was water. No, I realized the LaCroix I had been drinking was finished. And I had a moment of panic. Like, oh my goodness.
No, my hydration levels.
We're dealing with the Santa Ana winds right now. You got a lot. It's the air's dry. You know, allergies are acting up.
Yeah, we will be in Vegas on Friday, so always talking about. Ryan just powers through the hydration issues.
Do you want to talk about it?
Talk about what?
I've been traveling to Vegas with a.
So Ryan, we fly out to Vegas every Friday night for our VSiN show.
Friday morning.
Oh, sorry, Friday morning, 9 p.m. Pacific is when the show is, and then we fly back usually pretty early Saturday.
We usually get a stop in at the Wynn to do a podcast as well.
Yeah, and so it's a quick trip. Not bringing either of us don't bring any sort of luggage, just our SGP backpack. I fit in like a change of clothes, like a shirt and underwear, and then my laptop, and that's basically it.
Yep, and
tickets and cash. And then Kramer has a separate drawstring backpack that he puts on his belly, almost like one of those baby Bjorns.
Yeah.
Except it is
a swaddle.
Yeah, a swaddle. Except it is his humidifier that he has been flying to and from Vegas with for the past 2 months. It's really been quite the journey.
Well, I mean, you would be doing the same thing if you didn't break yours. First of all, second of all,
I did break mine.
Second of all. It's excellent.
Yeah.
I have a ritual. I get there. Also, I have a sport coat folded up neatly in my bag. I take that out. I hang it up. I fill up the humidifier. I get that thing jacked up all the way to 10. And yeah, everyone I tell about it is like, that's a great fucking idea. How many trips has your humidifier made to Vegas this year? Well, this will be the 7th trip.
Yeah, we were.
Sorry, 8th trip. It's made 7 trips.
We're talking about how, like in World War II, where the bombers or some of the gunners that would be taking down some of the Nazi planes would have a tally on the side of their plane, and a similar tally strike going with
Gangs in New York style. Just get those tick marks on the wooden stick. Let people know.
Chat is lit as always. Cousin Mush wanting to know was your humidifier full of coleslaw? Of course,
no, come on. And I'm not someone. I don't do the oil stuff. I'm not an oil diffuser.
Yes.
Which, by the way, this little humidifier has an oil diffuser. Now, here's the
pretty awesome.
Here's the actionable information for you. We unfortunately should not have ever spoken about the humidifier on air. The second we did, everyone started charging ridiculous fees to rent humidifiers.
Yeah.
So we used to stay at the Wynn. We used to stay at the Palazzo, wherever we were staying that offered humidifiers.
It's always free,
completely free.
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Kramer, we'll bring that right up. Then it was like, hey, Mr. Kramer, we'll bring that up, but they're gonna charge you $35 a night. What?
That's insane.
So this was week 1 of the NFL season. We're out there for a full week. I'm like, well, there's no way we're paying $250 for your humidifier
to rent a humidifier.
So I immediately go on the internet because I'm not an idiot, and within I'd say 60 seconds, I have located a CVS or Walgreens less than a 10-minute walk from my person's, where I procured 2 humidifiers for under $60, which would have been 2 nights.
Yes.
So that's the hack, by the way. You gotta look it up. I think it's Walgreens. They sell a little house brand humidifier, $27. Maybe we should get a branded one. Get a little stand.
Put the sticker on it, Ryan. There's a little oil diffuser in there.
Don't need that though. I don't need. That's a moving part. It's just gonna break at some point. I'm not diffusing anything. Well, I'm diffusing stuff, but not through the humidifier.
You're diffusing your dehydration level.
Yeah. How are you feeling? We're halfway through the season.
Halfway through the season, I feel great. I mean, you look at my not to tout, looking at the record, pretty happy where I'm at. Last week, not a great week. Only week, probably my worst week percentage wise. Did hit one of my locks. Not a great week for the Circa Millions, but we're still 54% in the Circa Millions. We are still alive in the Circa Survivor, and I'm assuming we're both also alive in our Second Chance NFL Survivor. Of course, that's brought to you by Barking Dog Properties and Corey Pinkston.
Dog.
The first round of elimination saw the field cut down to 381. I think it was almost 1,000 folks in there. Now it wasn't that big of a jump, down to 341. Fairly chalky week Survivor wise. Maybe people got a little cute here. It's interesting because I've been playing along with Second Chance Survivor, and I feel like I've been using almost the same picks that I'm using in our Survivor. Like I haven't,
because you don't want to think about it twice.
Well, that's true, me personally. But then I also, I guess also it's just aligned. Like maybe we did an amazing job planning it out, because there's not. When you reset the Second Chance Survivor, you think like, oh, okay, I can use the Bills, I can use the Chiefs. Thankfully, I didn't use the Chiefs last week against the Broncos, and I think that was a big fumble as far as like people getting knocked out.
Well, and again, part of that is because we already used the Chiefs, so they're not even in our frontal lobe when it comes to Survivor thought. And to your point of touting how good we were at mapping this out, at some point in the season, the plan will probably have to be diverted from, just because things change, and there's a lot of backup quarterbacks, a
lot of moving parts
swimming around right now. A lot of people reached out to support me after you claimed that there weren't a lot of quarterback injuries this year. A lot of backup quarterbacks playing in games this weekend, so things can change. But Sean, when the game we circled, again, that we did this episode back in mid-August. So would you say 2.5 months ago?
Yep.
The game we circled for week 9 was the Cleveland Browns hosting the Arizona Cardinals.
And and now you look at, and we thought that would be okay. a little bit of a tough decision, but now you look at the spread, and I think in the Second Chance Survivor, a lot of people will also be taking the Cleveland Browns. Biggest number on the board. I think the decision's going to be between the Browns and the Saints. Regardless of whether of how you feel, Second Chance or regular Survivor, I feel like those are going to be the two biggest plays.
Yeah, I mean, there's some other area. I guess there's some other angles you could get cute for no good reason. But I mean,
and the narrative of Josh Dobbs' revenge game in Cleveland, that would have been a situation maybe to scare me, but now it's been downgraded to Clayton Tune, rookie on the road, making his first start in Cleveland against that defense.
Well, probably the most obvious tank. We're not trying to win the game situations.
Especially I don't even hate it as far as, hey, if you can get value for Josh Dobbs, and it does sound like Kyler's going to be ready right around the corner. There is,
or is he?
And maybe they
ready for what?
Maybe they do the Cam Rising where they just keep saying like, "Oh, he's gonna play," and then.
By the way, we nailed that in college.
Yes.
We said he was going to be the Derek King this year.
Yes,
and he's actually
they
not
finally
playing.
did shut him down. Yeah. So make sure you get your Second Chance Survivor picks in, and also we did a bonus Breeders' Cup podcast, breaking down all the pony action this Friday and Saturday. That was a lot of fun. A great Real Men of Degen, amazing Real Men of Degen. We're gonna put it out as a clip, but I don't want to ruin it.
No.
If you want to check out the show, but Malcolm Bamford was there, and he brought an amazing Real Men of Degen, and then of course the Wolf of Oaklawn as well. Great picks, great insight.
Anytime you get the Wolf and Malcolm together, it does feel like we can just sit back, kick our feet up, and let them talk about horses.
Yes.
They both speak, like one from Arkansas, one from Northern England. And they both speak so eloquently about
well, and it was pretty amazing because we're doing this horse racing podcast with Malcolm while also his favorite soccer team, Newcastle's on, and he's just going nuts.
Yeah,
and then he was muting himself. I think they ended up winning. It was 2-0, at least during the podcast.
They dropped the penny on Manchester United.
And Terrell pointed out when we were hanging out for the fantasy football conference, Terrell and I had an epic gambling moment going all in on Clayton Tune money line. I think it was like plus 225, and he just had some dog action to pull that victory.
I feel like at this point we can make a documentary about some fantasy football moments that happened at the somewhere in the city of Canton, Ohio.
Oh well,
the Trey Lance,
Ryan clearing his system.
Oh, that's nothing to do with football.
Yeah.
I was just referring to like these big meaningless preseason moments. Not me puking all over the side of Don Shula's
If only Shula was there to yell at you, Ryan.
Well,
that would have been awesome.
I popped my champagne, Don.
All right, we got a sweet week of NFL 9 picks, and make sure you get in the Patreon pick'em contest. Those have been really fun. Just award. We had a tie last week, so shout out to Kyle P.
What do you mean a tie?
Well,
we haven't solved our tie problem yet.
Well, the tie was the tiebreaker was supposed to be, and shout out Michael Lineberry and Kyle. I just know him as Kyle P.
Yeah,
with an all-time handle, Adrian Peterson, Ryan.
Oh, wow,
which shows you how long he's been around with the podcast. They both won the Sports Gambling Podcast Halloween prize pack. So I felt like I was feeling generous and awarded both. The tiebreaker is supposed to be SGPN trivia, but I feel like the Halloween prize pack I was fine to put it out twice. Ryan,
that's pretty rad.
Please, why don't you get ready to announce the this week's?
Oh, I like that.
This week's prize pack, and while you're doing that, I will treat the audience to a live Little Caesars read. That's right.
Shirt on or shirt off?
Little Caesars, the official pizza sponsor of the NFL. Little Caesars has it all. You got the stuffed crazy bread, you got the cookie dough brownies, you got those moist, delicious, tender Little Caesars wings, perfect for the dipping sauce, and that's it. That's all they have. Just kidding. They have the amazing, most delicious crust they've ever created for a pizza, redefining the world that we live in. You thought you knew pizza, and then Little Caesars, like divine heaven inspiration, brought us the Little Caesars pizza crust. Pretzel crust, which is just, it's so good. It is delicious, golden brown with those nice little chunks of salt, much like a soft pretzel, just unrolled and spun around a delicious, hearty serving of pepperoni slices piled high with that delicious pepperoni. Just pairs perfectly, not only with the pretzel crust, but with the National Football League. You cannot go wrong. Order online during our Pizza pregame, 1 hour before and 3 hours after NFL kickoffs, plus all day Sunday. I do like how they say "are" because I feel a part of Little Caesars, and when you have that pretzel crust, you will truly feel that Little Caesars is a part of you. You can get it delivered or in store in our Pizza Portal pickup. Grab some friends, enjoy a few slices during the game. Little Caesars pizza. Kramer, what is the Week 9 Patreon Pick'em prize?
Sean, the season's turning. Would you agree?
I would agree.
Leaves are falling. So what better way to get ready to watch some football than with an SG? The same thing we send to collegiate athletes all over the country who are under our NIL umbrella. An SGPN athlete hoodie, SGPN athlete sweatpants.
Ooh, okay. I like this.
Get fit for the fall.
And I have some SGP sweats on, perfect for working out or just sitting around and getting insanely fat.
And for what it's worth, the wife is a big fan of the sweats. Not a fan of everything that we're producing, but the sweats are they have been stolen multiple times.
All right, let's get to it, Kramer. What do we got? Week 9 NFL picks.
A couple things to rattle off at the top before we get going. Close your eyes specials this week. Last week, looking back, unfortunately, Mr. Garoppolo
blew it.
Mr. McDaniels gift on the way out.
Well, and he deserved to get fired. If I was a coach, you blew a close your eyes special, you're out the door.
Perhaps why he got fired, Sean. Perhaps now you're starting to get it. This week upcoming, any teams underperforming the spread by 21 or more? Only one, Sean, and it's the Kansas City Chiefs. So unfortunately, they're not a dog. It's dangerously close. Early market. Maybe it gets there, but unfortunately, the close your eyes special is getting a timeout this week. Other things to note: teams on bye: the Broncos, the Lions, the Jags, and the Niners. And that's it. I don't have any other big picture other than I'll be sprinkling my thoughts about the quality of quarterback play. A lot of backup quarterbacks showing up here. Unfortunately, because I love good football. So does Colby.
No, Colby hates good football.
No, that's what I'm saying. This is
okay.
The irony is this is Colby's like dream NFL season. Scoring is way down.
Red zone efficiency.
We're looking at quarterbacks that degenerate fans of football don't know who they are.
I think going back to my point, where it was lost was, and it could have been severely intoxicated. We won't get into that, but the point I was trying to make was there was no major big name injuries. The guys that were getting knocked out were kind of your lower level stars. They weren't guys that were altering Super Bowl odds. I think the biggest name that's been lost so far would be Kirk Cousins.
I think
it's not like Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes.
Well, Burrow was out for a while.
True, he was a little nicked up
for a while.
I think for me, seasons being really thrown off by injuries. I think of the Patriots season where Brady tore his ACL in the first game, or what destroyed my childhood, Randall Cunningham breaking his leg and ACL the first game of the season where they had that amazing defense. I was thinking of big, massive losses that really impacted things.
Yeah, and perhaps it speaks just the mediocrity at the quarterback position, that some of these positions are some of these swaps are relatively small.
Yeah, and that's the other thing is a lot of these feel like lateral moves, But
there is I was thinking about it more as a way to
Ritter to Heineke.
But the way you would quantitatively look at it is, what is the value lost to the line in the sum of these quarterbacks? You're probably not losing a lot of 7-point quarterbacks, to your point, but there's been a decent amount of 2.5 to 4 point quarterbacks that have gone down this year, including on the Tennessee Titans, Sean, who are heading to Pittsburgh. Again, Ryan Tannehill probably not worth 7 points on Will Levis, but it's definitely not 0. I mean, you disagree with that?
Well, this is another one.
Pittsburgh laying 2.5, -150 on the money line. Tennessee +130. 36.5 is the total, like an Iowa game here.
Yeah.
The look ahead did drop from 3.5 to 2.5, probably based on
on Will Levis
the nice
good,
completions that he had, the highlight plays that did look good.
But also too, I don't know. And the fact that Will Levis looking good in that game moved the line an entire point
seems wrong.
Well, I mean, we'll get into that in a second, but if you're just comparing him to Ryan Tannehill, if Ryan Tannehill starts this game, I think the spread might be fairly similar to this with how Tannehill has looked throughout the season. If Tannehill played in the Falcons game, looked like Tannehill has looked, maybe eked out a victory or didn't win the game, I think this line would be pretty similar.
Well, the line being 3.5 was knowing Will Levis was the guy.
But I'm saying, go back and walk through that same scenario. If Tannehill's starting in this game, what is the line? 1.5? I don't know if it changes that much.
I don't know if a really shaky Kenny Pickett, who's probably banged up, even though he said he's 100% playing. I don't know if that is laying, to your point, it's probably not a bunch of meaningful points, but is that doesn't that kind of proves the point, right?
What do you mean?
I mean, shouldn't Will Levis be getting more respect in the number, or getting more in the number, less respect? He's getting too much respect.
Yeah, maybe, but I was just pointing out, if they reset this number, to my point of it being a lateral move, at least how the marketplace views it, I don't think it's a huge change in the number.
Well, because I think what you're trading almost no upside, but a much higher floor, with a tremendous upside and a tremendously low floor. And what we got last week was Will Levis ceiling game.
Yeah.
There were no,
it was a perfect game.
No
Will Levis
plays, and just he hit on 4 out of 7 of his deep throws down the field. He hit on for touchdowns. Max
saying, someone once told me, take the 2.5, lay the 3.5.
It's true.
And I do feel like as time goes on, I don't know if I don't know if it quite applies in the same way it did, because it used to be you would get 3 points for home field, and they've kind of gotten away from that. Even a place like Pittsburgh that has a legit home field advantage. Now, the interesting thing you mentioned it, Kenny Pickett, he got lit up pretty good, and now he's playing on a short week, pretty injured. You got Derrick Henry and Tajay Spears going up against a soft Steelers front. I would say
pause. Cam Hayward's back.
Oh, he is.
Yeah.
Okay, that's huge. And I would also point out Derrick Henry, his home road splits, and it's not surprising as a guy who's getting older. 4.9 yards per carry at home, all the way down to 3.2 on the road. So Cam Hayward being back is huge for the Steelers. And then you look at a rookie quarterback on a short week making his first road start. I mean, even just a first road start on a short week versus Mike Tomlin against the Steelers defense in a very, very tough environment. Will Levis becomes the 7th quarterback to face the Steelers in Pittsburgh in his first season in a night game. The previous 6 quarterbacks 0-6 straight up. Now you look at these quarterbacks: Justin Fields, Jimmy Clausen, Joe Flacco, John Beck, Derek Anderson, Eric Zier.
Not a bunch of.
So not certainly great, but I do think it kind of highlights the toughness of going into Pittsburgh, getting that win. And yeah, Jacksonville did it. Hats off to them, but I still think it's a pretty tough place to play. Steelers 9th ranked defensive DVOA. The counter is Will Levis looked pretty good, and Mike Vrabel as a dog, you always hate fading that. But yeah, it just comes down to first road spot in Pittsburgh.
And I think that a lot of people are going to say that Will Levis looked good if they didn't actually go back and watch the game. If you saw the highlight package, he looked great, and especially because it was validating to see him sling it sidearm across the field with ease, something Ryan Tannehill would never be able to do. Specifically, I'm thinking about that D-Hop touchdown where he throws it across the field 60 yards. Awesome. But what you don't see in those highlight packages is basically the rest of the time him running an ineffective offense. And against the Pittsburgh team that now knows it's coming, knows exactly what is coming.
And that anger and intensity we saw out of Mike Vrabel, he really wanted to fight Arthur Smith and fight his starting quarterbacks. He brought that and he put that into this game. I think this could be a letdown spot for this Titans team on a short week.
Oh, so now you're buying in the Arthur Smith, Mike Vrabel emotional game.
No, I mean, I did think there was a chip on his shoulder for Mike Vrabel.
All-time football guy.
They had those sweet powder blue unis.
Oh, you think it's a letdown off the
uniform,
the controversial wearing of a different city's uniform? Yeah, I mean, basically every argument you can make for Pittsburgh, you can probably make for Tennessee too. Their coaches tend to muck it up. They tend to be better dogs than favorites. Their pass rush should win, and they shouldn't be able to run the ball very well. And so I guess do you trust Kenny Pickett hooking up with some of his receivers over the top, beating this Tennessee defense like so many bad quarterbacks have? Well, or do you trust that Will Levis is going to beat this Tomlin no Minka, but this Tomlin defense that it knows they're coming, and he's not going to have time. Yeah. He's not going to have time to make some of these plays that he made against Atlanta. I think if Atlanta had to do it again, they would have just put more they would have spammed the pressure button. Producer Josh had a great nugget. 55 straight games since the Steelers have recorded 400 plus yards of offense, which I think is true. And Michael in the chat saying the bottom line is the Pittsburgh offense is awful. Yeah, both offenses. I agree, and I think you could say the Titans offense I'm not sold on yet. To me, the most questionable unit on the field might be the Titans defense, especially the back end. Now, can a banged up Kenny Pickett take advantage of it? I don't know, but I do know that I'm very confident the Steelers defense at home Thursday night, must win spot, get up spot, they'll get it done. Also, Cam Hayward means a lot. And by the way, we have a weather report for the game. Clear in the 30s. And wind 5 to 10 miles an hour. And shout out to the sheriff. I think his name is on Discord, our official SGPN meteorologist. He sent me a photo of him watching our show on YouTube and Doppler radar at the same time. All-time photo. Maybe we should get a graphic. We'll get a graphic. Oh yes, the official weather report. All right, moving along to Sunday. And reminder, pregame show. Typically we start 7 a.m. on the West Coast, but because we're in Europe, we got boots on the ground over in Europe. At least Malcolm, if Barry is back from his whatever he's doing in Africa, safari or something, we won't ask what he's doing there. But whatever's going on, they'll be chopping it up 30 minutes before the Germany game that we're about to talk about here. So if you want to watch them eat some bangers and give out some bets, do
Bangers
that over
and Cash. Probably one of our best show names.
Malcolm got mad at the name being Bangers and Bets and said it has to be Bangers and Cash, or I'm not doing it
it's
anymore.
so good.
He literally held out. He said, "I'm not. I'm standing for something." So yeah, leading up to this game, will be that Malcolm and maybe Barry on the Premier League Gambling Podcast feed, 6:30 a.m. here on the West Coast. We got a big one in Germany. They don't usually ship the heavyweights overseas, Sean. We do. We'll talk about the weather in a second. I noticed it kind of is on the weather report. The Dolphins, they've been there since Sunday. Everyone loves to hear about the travel. Miami went straight there. They also chose to take the bye next week. Kansas City did not leave right away, but I believe they left on Wednesday today. And so they'll be over there for a number of practices as well before the game. This is a back-to-back road spot for Kansas City. They're coming off an embarrassing loss. Again, the Broncos had won the Super Bowl more recently than they had beaten the Chiefs until Sunday.
Flu game.
Chiefs laying 1.5 here, -125 on the money line. Dolphins +105. 50.5 is the total. The stadium, from what I understand, is one of those soccer stadiums that has the hole over the field only.
Yeah.
I do question what that means to the wind impact. Probably not a lot less than typical football stadiums. Rainy and windy, expected to be in the 40s with gusts up to 25 miles an hour. So I would still think the wind won't be entering one of those weird stadiums. Some people have said there's a roof. I don't know if I have confirmed that. Weatherman also wondering if there was a roof. So we're on the same page there. I don't know if the Dolphins leaving a couple days early is as strong as the handicap we saw for the Ravens. When the Titans were leaving on like a Friday.
Yeah. When the Chiefs didn't leave, they left early in the week though, right?
The Chiefs have scheduled, based on our insider information. The Chiefs have scheduled team activities early as fuck Thursday in England, in Germany, which makes me think that they probably got there at some point on Wednesday.
Okay.
Afternoon.
So they have a decent. There is always that thing of waiting the last minute, et cetera. What is best? I mean, let's go back to that Broncos game. Russell Wilson won the game by only completing 12 passes. If you watch, and this is a great eye test game, because if you watch that game, it was just fluke play after fluke play, and hats off to the Broncos for actually getting a division win and getting it done. But what they were doing against that Chiefs defense wasn't really sustainable. And the Dolphins to me are just a team that struggles when they play up in competition. I mean, when they went into Philly, now probably not as hostile as an environment as Germany. Philly is more intense than Germany. Philly only allowed 10 points to the Dolphins offense. They of course got that pick 6 to get it to 17. They only put up 20 against the Bills. Jalen Ramsey back for the Dolphins. That should help them. But Patrick Mahomes versus a team 20th in EPA per play defensively. Kansas City's defense 5th overall in DVOA. Now they don't thrive at stopping the run, and that usually is the best formula for beating the Dolphins. Stop the run, it clogs things up. They can't get the play action going. But I do think they're going to be able to get enough pressure on Tua to get it done. And my favorite, the Tua time zone trend. He's 22-9-1 ATS in the Eastern time zone, 3-6 in all other time zones. Really, what it is he's also a very much a different quarterback, home and road. When he's home as a favorite, that's a good time to play Tua. Neutral field, Germany over here. I mean, minus the bratwurst bender that they may have to pump Andy Reid's stomach to go do a sausage overdose. It's hard for me.
That's a positive in the handicap, that he'll have more worst throw in his veins when he's calling plays. He'll be more optimal.
I think he'll be dialed in. His cholesterol's super high. He sees the field clearly. I do like Andy Reid to outsmart McDaniel here, and to me, it's just about finding the weakest unit. And for me, it's the Dolphins defense.
There's a pretty great video of McDaniel walking into the press conference for the first time with clearly some local reporters who are Germans, are probably very serious. And he tries to crack a joke, and it goes over as well as you can expect with him telling it. And to your point about Philly being a tougher spot. I don't recall any stories of the Nazis throwing D-cell batteries at Santa Claus. So perhaps
even they drew a line.
There is something to that. Isn't this the most simple of all? And I don't know if I mentioned it up top, but Kansas City is on the back-to-back road spot, which has been, it's starting to trend really negative. It's down to 11 and 19 ATS on the season. The difference here is I just think you cancel everything out with that embarrassing flu game for Mahomes. And how often do we get Patrick Mahomes laying less than 3 points?
Yes. What more do you need to know?
It's kind of it's a simplistic handicap, but that's kind of it. And you made the points earlier about the Dolphins being Jekyll and Hyde when they're playing good teams or not on the defensive side of the ball. Josh, put the graphic back up, because the other thing you mentioned about Tua is, and I should have led out with it, because where the fuck is Josh with my graphic? The kids these days, he's probably off finagling some lady.
He's probably worried about his.
Do kids even go to Europe with their girlfriend and just fucking hostels for a couple weeks and come home and said they went backpacking? At 402 days since Tua has beaten a team with a winning record, and the Chiefs would be a fucking close your eyes special. Which, Sean, I've been tracking this for a long time. Not many times that we can say that. Again, simplistic handicap, but and back to the defenses. Every good defense they played gave them trouble.
Yeah.
And they're and even if it's not just completely shutting him down, Tua's turning, like he's making the ball available. Whatever he learned in the judo with the falling is increasing his fumbling. And fuck you if it's not related.
No, the turnover stuff, the red zone turnover stuff is real.
This is annoying because I do want to wake up and watch this. Like, I can't half asleep this.
Yeah,
one.
usually I kind of roll out of bed like midway through the first quarter or late in bed refreshing Gamecast. But yeah, I think we have to watch the kickoff of this one. I really like the Chiefs, and I don't know how much it applies here, but the favorite usually pretty strong overseas as well. So yeah, Chiefs -1.5. Let's go.
Who will the German crowd be rooting for?
I mean, yeah, it's tough to see them getting around Tua. Tua, Mike McDaniel, those seem. You see a portly man who clearly loves chocolate and processed meats in Andy Reid
and beer.
Yeah, I mean he's got a bowl full of jelly. That's, I feel like, very appealing to the German crowd.
Yeah, this very much in the lock conversation.
Oh, okay.
I have been trying to avoid the early lock stuff, but
I locked up one London game, came through.
Germany might be calling, John.
Let's go.
All right, regular time football. We got 7 early games. Once again, the almost optimal, but red zone surrounded by 7 beautiful NFL games. Love it. We got the Minnesota Vikings, another back-to-back road spot here. They're taking on the Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta laying 4.5, -210 on the money line. Minnesota +180. 37 is the total. Big move off the look ahead from 1.5 to 4.5 based on the quarterback news. Kirk Cousins done, although he's still there. He's fucking cheerleader 101, which, you know, it gives them scrappy dog vibes to me.
Oh yeah,
it gives me everyone's all in.
They are going to be the 7th seed, and they're going to be up in like the first quarter, and you're like, what's going on?
Josh Dobbs isn't starting here.
No.
And Jaron Hall is, who let's play the game, Sean. Where did he go to college?
Oh, BYU.
BYU quarterbacks are what? Gritty motherfuckers. And
Jim McMahon.
But on the other side, you got Heineke coming in.
Yep.
So you basically have 2 backup quarterback situations.
Yep.
And the line moves 3 points. So if you unpack this, Ritter to Heineke, what would you say the difference is there?
Oh, I think Heineke is better than Ritter.
Okay, so it would be an upgrade.
Yeah, but I don't.
Okay. Well, let's just say it stays the same. Flat. We'll call it flat.
The market price sees it as equal.
Okay. What is Kirk Cousins to Jaron Hall? Because if anyone wants to be a 7 point, let's talk about like who's the best quarterback we've lost. Who's the biggest delta between himself and the backup? Have we lost?
Yeah, probably.
Holy shit!
I mean, it probably should be like 6 points, something like that.
So why is it only 3?
Well, I'll tell you. I mean, one, Falcons losing Grady Jarrett for the entire season, huge blow to their defense. Atlanta horrible against the tight end. T.J. Hawkinson will be primed for a breakout game, and then the Falcons are pretty injured. Drake London, aka their one skill player that they like throwing the ball to, he's dealing with the groin injury, and this Vikings defense after a very slow start has really turned things around. 12th ranked in EPA, 10th in DVOA, and the Falcons just got carved up by a rookie. So I like taking the Vikings and the points. I think Jaren Hall is going to create some interesting mobility issues running around in the pocket. He's going to be a tougher guy to defend. Now, quarterbacks making their first start on the road, that's a tough trend. But I think against the spread, give me Vikings plus 4.5.
You can't say Will Levis carved him up. He hit on we just discussed it. He hit on some explosive plays.
Yes.
Is Jaren Hall going to come in with the same ability to do that?
I don't know, but I think the connection to TJ Hawkinson is going to be pretty good. I watched him in preseason. I thought he was competent. I'm going to ask. But again, they traded for Josh Dobbs, so maybe they're not huge believers in him.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Although maybe Dobbs is the backup. Maybe they plan on wanting to see what they got in this guy, or they know he's not ready and they're going to do some gimmicky stuff. It is a McVay offense.
Yes.
I would ask you the second question, which is, what is the major difference between the Vikings and the Titans on offense? Otherwise, the Titans have a running attack and the Vikings do not.
True.
So you're putting Jaren Hall out there against a team that stops the run pretty well, even though they lost Grady Jarrett. I still expect them to be able to stop the run, and now he becomes one dimensional.
Yeah, I guess I would just I'm optimistic.
It's a big number. I understand
he's going to be able to run the ball personally as a scrambling quarterback. I think they're going to drop some creative stuff for him that isn't on film. We saw it with Tyson Bagent. I think it's going to be a similar game plan. They're going to move the pocket for him. You know, instead of him reading the entire field, he's going to read like a third of the field, give him some easy decisions. And I think it's a letdown spot for the Falcons. I like the Vikings plus 4.5.
Based on what I saw last week, I agree with you. Heineke is definitely an upgrade over Ritter. I don't know how this line's not bigger, just basic arithmetic. And I get why people can't lay 6, 6.5, 7 with the Falcons, but that's what this number should be.
So let me guess, you're going to be on the Falcons.
Give me the Falcons laying the 4.5 points. Right, I laid out a very clear case.
You did your best to keep your fandom.
I'm upgrading the Falcons 1.5 points from Ritter to although Ritter is in the concussion protocol. We shouldn't be acting like he got benched.
Research Spherical Earth saying, yeah, and Bagent looked great last week. You're making my point.
What do you mean?
These guys always look good in their first start because they set them up for success. There's no film on them. They're playing with house money.
Bagent looking great is probably a stretch, and also playing the Chargers is maybe.
Bagent did look good, I think, that first game against the Raiders.
Oh, okay. He had moments, yeah.
Yeah. No, that's the game I'm comparing it to.
And yeah, and I would. It's a very unique game because that is a defensive scheme that will allow you to make completions and.
But I think
look like a complete.
I think Jaren Hall will have some moments.
Nice. Hopefully they're good moments for you.
Yeah.
Seattle heads to Baltimore, where the Ravens sit 6-point favorites, -255 on the money line. Seahawks plus 215. 43.5 is the total. Gino just getting shit done out there in the Pacific Northwest. I mean, once again, this Browns team plays competitive football with Seattle.
Well, they should have won the game. I mean, they had the game in hand, and instead of Stefanski, instead of running the ball there, he let PJ Walker dig himself a hole. But PJ Walker pretty good against the spread, 7-2 ATS as a starter.
And funny enough, Baltimore looks ahead to Cleveland here after Seattle comes off a game against Cleveland. Wanted to shout out Jake Bobo on the card, Sean. We know you become a big Bobo fan.
He's been fun, and he might see some action. Stay tuned to the DFS episode. Tyler Lockett, DNP, dealing with hamstring injury.
And something to note here, I was digging around, pulling through some numbers because a lot of people are pointing out Lamar Jackson. Only one loss against the NFC in his career, straight up, which by the way was against the Giants last year. Wink Martindale, Kayvon Thibodeau clinching sack. Well, if you dive in a little deeper, I think it's a very deceptive trend. You're a gambler because that's a straight up trend. If you zoom in a little closer to when Lamar is favored by more than a field goal, like he is in this spot, in that same situation against the NFC, Sean, this is going to blow your mind. 12-1 straight up.
Yep.
But 3-10 ATS.
Yeah, he's struggled as a big favorite, and he continues to have turnover issues as well. Very fortunate to have that play in the Arizona Cardinals game called back, even though to me I swore that was a fumble. But on the other side, Geno Smith, man, he's had some really rough moments. The past 3 games, 5 interceptions. And these are really bad interceptions. Like in the Arizona game, they're going in for a touchdown, throws a pick at the 1 yard line. In Cincinnati, it was 2 interceptions, really at inopportune times. And then even in the win against the Browns, the only reason the Browns were in that game because he threw 2 interceptions. I really worry about Geno Smith. There's 2 sides of this coin for me. One is I like in general, I like the Seahawks as dogs. I think Carroll is a good coach as a dog. Historically, his record's crazy: 53-38 and 3 against the spread as an underdog. Geno's better as a dog. This is kind of where they are at. But you look at the Ravens, man. They're I think they're going to get up for this spot, and the Geno turnovers play right into the Ravens defense, their hands. Yeah, and PJ Walker had some moments, I think, running around against that Seattle defense, and I can kind of imagine Lamar doing the same thing. If you like a Lamar Jackson, and we'll save it for the prop show, but Lamar Jackson rushing yards, I think, is a good matchup against this Seattle
Dobbs
defense.
4 for 43 and a touchdown. PJ Walker 6 for 27. Dan Jones 10 for 66. Yeah. Every mobile quarterback they've played against, they've let him get loose. And I gave you the trend about how Lamar's not covering this situation as much as he's winning the game, and it's a big number. But this Baltimore team is also just shaped. They played a horrible game last week, Sean, and they got backdoored on an 8-point spread. This team is playing really well, and the part that is why the reason I'm willing to lay the points here, other than I'm clearly becoming a fan, and I do have some futures.
Ryan has like 5 teams. You have the Cardinals, the Texans,
number 1 overall.
Sorry, the Falcons, Texans, and Ravens. Of your 3 AFC teams, who is your favorite?
This, I always have a little closeted Lamar love. When he's moving, he's and electric.
And if he cannot turn the ball over, Geno Smith on the road, I mean, he looked pretty bad.
This is my handicap: is that the Ravens are not being treated like the number 1 defense. They are not. They are number 1 defensive DVOA, number 1 against the pass, 5th against the run. They have the number 1 sack rate on defense. There's a lot of reasons to like them, and you pointed out the reason to feel comfortable taking this. It's very simply the fact that Lamar is going to have some opportunities to get loose with his legs. And I think when you overpay for Leonard Williams and you give up a 2nd round pick to pick up a relatively old defensive lineman who's going to cost a bunch of money if you want to re-sign, who frankly, I would imagine you're not confident in your ability to stop the run right now or fortify the center of your defense. So, I like the handicap of the Ravens are just the better team and probably deserve to be favored. I like laying the points mostly because I think Geno ran out of ink. I think, or he needs to run out of ink because he's been writing a lot of letters back. He has. I don't know why he's not getting crushed like some other quarterbacks would if you were because you're winning a game here and there. Again,
this is from watching all the games at the same time and having a lot of action. It trains you to kind of watch these things. I'm out on Geno. So
he's making a lot of bad plays, like the kind of plays we used to. You know what? I'm gonna nominate Geno as the replacement name for Sucks Island. Because he's making the plays that Jared Goff used to make.
Yeah,
if you want to describe
there was a mini spike on Jared Goff Sucks Island when he threw that pick 6, but
but he's back. All right, Arizona heads to Cleveland, where the Browns are laying a big number here. 8 -375 on the money line, plus 305 for the Cardinals. 37.5 is the total. Wind, circle this one. Definitely could have some impact. There's also a chance of rain. I think this is where myself and the weatherman had a little bit of a different disagreement. His report, mostly cloudy, showers, 50s, wind 5 to 10. I do think the wind's going to be a little stronger. I think your standard weather reports don't never take into account that where the Cleveland stadium sits and its orientation relative to the wind always will be an impact. And it does seem like there's going to be gusts nearing 20 here. Like I said, 37.5 is the total. Low total. Clayton Tune. Any interest in taking the points with Clayton Tune here?
No, not at all. And I know the handicapping starts at the quarterback position, but I'm looking at I'm looking at their ability. The Cardinals are horrific at stopping the run. So you have a really good defense. You want to run the ball. That's the Cleveland Browns right there.
Yep.
And the Cardinals defense can't stop the run.
Yep.
So I know a lot of it's going to come down to Clayton Tune on the road making his first start, but to me that's like the last thing that's going to matter in this game. Cardinals can't stop the run and they can't run the ball. Their offense has really been sputtering without James Conner. And then you even look at Amari DiMercato, Michael Wilson, both DNPs here. This is just going to be a brutal spot for them.
You can't look at the offense because Dobbs is gone. Dobbs was 100% of the reason any of that shit was.
Yeah, there was a bunch of friskiness maybe around Dobbs and PJ Walker 7-2 against the spread. I think if he can limit his turnovers, they'll even play a safer version of their game plan. This game is going to be like 13-3. Give me the Browns laying 8. I know it's scary to lay 8 with a.
Well, think about it this way. Remember what this Cleveland team looked like versus Indy? I know it took some plays from their defense, but why won't those same plays happen in this game? And Indy has a better defense than Arizona. So yeah, there's also the handicap of you shouldn't be laying 8 points with PJ Walker.
That's true, but do you feel comfortable, Clayton? I mean,
Cleveland has Baltimore on deck, a team that kicked their ass.
That's true. They could be looking ahead, but ultimately it comes down to a similar thing of Will Levis making his first road start against a good defense in a hostile environment. And a lot of that applies here with Clayton Tune going on the road, being fed to the wolves of this Cleveland Browns defense. I mean, Myles Garrett versus Clayton Tune. That's not going to go well.
Defensive touchdowns tend not to look ahead. I guess that's how I would.
Defenses, yeah.
Defensive touchdowns. No, I mean like Cleveland. What would you set the total at? Total points scored by Cleveland defense and special teams.
I'll put that at 10, and
you can include field goals in there.
Yeah, I will.
Like what's the spread of Cleveland defense special teams versus Arizona?
Yeah, that's I just I know it's 8 points. PJ Walker. That is if you're
going to run the rock, dude. You saw somehow Jerome Ford doesn't get high ankle sprains. They got Kareem Hunt back.
Yeah.
Pierre Strong still getting a carrier too. I don't think they need to throw the forward pass to cover this spread. Are we really chalky this week?
Me?
Are we doing this right?
Where's your dollar signs? Where's the public money?
We don't have a lot of. We don't. I'm just saying. I'm on all favorites. That might be tricky.
Yeah, you got that. You missed the Minnesota. That was the dog.
Oh, you got one dog. You're doing it better than I am.
Yes. Ryan, shout out to Prize Picks. Love me some Prize Picks. You can turn your money into 25x football season simply by going more or less. Kramer, I'm gonna kick off a little Prize Picks segment here. Pull you some. I'm sure the numbers here.
Fire when ready.
For the Cardinals are going to be comical, but and if they even have them posted. Okay, right now all we're seeing is a Hollywood Brown, more or less. That's not really that fun.
More.
I mean, yeah. Let's
actually no less. What's the number?
Yeah. I mean, guess. What do you think?
So they're going to make these numbers comically low compared to. I would imagine Hollywood was sitting in the 60-yard range before. So with Clayton Tune in there, maybe they drop it into the high 40s, 48.5.
Wow, Ryan, are you looking at the Prize Pick sheet?
100% not looking at it.
So
I've been doing this for a while.
Hollywood Brown, more or less.
Was that the number?
Yeah, you nailed it.
You're dropping the number by 20%.
I still like the
is
lower.
Clayton Tune 80% of the quarterback is Josh Dobbs? Probably not.
Well, and also they were really frisky in garbage time, this Cardinals team, and I think they may lose that in this game.
No, that's not. They were actually friskier in the first half, which
That's
is
true. You know, no, what it was. I found this stat. The Cardinals were 7-1 against the spread. The second quarter spread, best team in the NFL in the second quarter spread.
Yeah, it's still wild. They're still sitting in the top 10 in minutes led in the first quarter and first half. So, all right. Yeah. I mean, I'm 100% going under.
Okay.
I was just
Less.
I was working the math out, explaining my work.
So we're gonna take Marquise Brown less, and then
Who's Marquise?
Hollywood Brown.
Okay, Hollywood.
And then we pair it with a Browns guy. Amari Cooper's the player they have up right now. 54.5 receiving yards, 4.5 receptions. I like under on both. I think they're just going to run the ball the entire time.
But you see how good Cooper is? They have chemistry.
That's true.
Give me the receptions over.
Receptions.
More receptions.
More. There you go, Ryan. So that is two players. Let's see. $100 wins you $300. And of course, use that promo code SGPN, prizepicks.com/SGPN to get that sweet 100% deposit match. Prize Picks, daily fantasy simplified.
What percentage of Josh Dobbs is Clayton Tune to you?
Yeah, that's tough. Cause there was some, but Dobbs was also throwing picks. So I think it depends. I think if you're talking,
you don't think Clayton Tune's going to throw a pick?
That's true too. If you're talking, I think Josh Dobbs was better at keeping the game close, but I don't know.
He was like, to me, this is going to be,
this
is DTR. We're going to get some DTR situation. So Dobbs, I mean, that's probably 50%, which means you would have to give me a 30-yard Hollywood Brown, more or less for me to go over for me to think about going more. But even then, I really think Clayton Tune is going to look as bad as DTR looked. That's the prediction. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
why would it be any different? He shined in the exact same circumstances. All right. And by the way, maybe we look back on this and Gannon was trying really hard in the preseason. There's something to it, right? All right. Next up, Rams. They're heading to Green Bay. Feel like we've had some classic matchups between the Rams and the Packers in Lambeau. Green Bay laying 3 here, -165 on the money line. Rams +140, 38.5 is the total. This is our 6th game, Sean. This is our 4th game talking about a total in the 30s. I mean, Colby literally has to be rock hard.
Oh,
Rams are catching 76% of the bets in this back-to-back road spot. They're looking ahead to the bye, and Sean, I'm calling this a sandwich spot because McVay goes from having baby to a known vacation time ahead that his wife is already aware of. It's the bye week. So McVay being focused on this football game, I'm a little bit paused on. And you want to talk about split action, 76% of the bets, but less than 30% of the money on the Rams. So the sharps coming in on the Packers. God bless them. And last thing I'll say, Sean, because we got a backup quarterback here with Mr. Rippin, Brett Rippin, that is. The number moved from 1.5 on the look ahead to now Green Bay -3 at home. That's a 4.5 point move.
Yeah. Well, Ryan, you're the market dynamics guy. I don't really factor in who's betting on what when I'm breaking down ball. Matt Stafford is out. Brett Rippin, I thought has looked okay in his 3 career starts. Again, very scattershot sample size, but
all the coaches we're talking about today, who has the most experience putting a backup into a situation and having that backup look decent? McVay.
What do you mean? When did he have a backup?
The Wolf of Wall Street performed well in short. I'm just saying, like, his system, it seems, and his ability to get a guy ready to play one start against a bad team that's going to let you run the ball, something that McVay wants to do desperately anyway.
I mean, it just starts with the Packers defense is so horrible. And I don't know if Jordan Love is necessarily better, if at all, noticeably better than Brett Rippin. I don't know that. I really don't. Jordan Love has never closed as a favorite in his short career here. Brett Rippin's been in the league longer. I'm pretty sure, But really, what it starts at is this Packers secondary is so bad that not only was it pretty bad, and then they got rid of Rasul Douglas. Now maybe
what was that? That's not interesting move.
Yeah, I mean, you need Rasul Douglas.
Maybe they're tanking.
I don't think they're tanking. NFL teams don't tank. I know every fantasy player.
Why are they even trying to win?
You know what you need to do right now is rebuild and get assets. What are they trading for Montez Sweat? They should be trying to acquire assets. Shut the fuck up. No one cares about your fucking assets. Yeah. It's 22 men on the gridiron trying to murder each other. They're not worried about putting together, and getting the 19th or the 20th. That's a lot of draft capital. Get the fuck. This isn't the NBA. This isn't the National Basketball Association. It's the NFL. They try to kill each other on Sundays.
This isn't your dynasty league.
Yeah, it's kind of a rebuilding year for me in dynasty. You're rebuilding. Why are you wasting your time rebuilding it's supposed to be a fantasy and you're rebuilding in your fantasy? Your fantasy is supposed to be an escape from reality. Reality is a fucking kick in the nuts to begin with. You don't need to take that and then go into my fantasy world where I'm also getting kicked in the nuts.
The first year we went to the Fantasy Expo, we had a booth and we were just sitting there chopping it up with folks. And this guy came by.
And I like fantasy. But
yeah. This guy came by and explained that he was currently in 15 dynasty leagues. And Sean had this look like, what the fuck do you do?
Come on, have some fun.
But it is true. People there is this element of now that since we've let the computers ruin every game and really basically the optimal strategy for everything is try to win all of it or be the worst team. And so now everyone's like, well, if you're not going to be the best team, why do you even try? You don't need a second
void. It speaks to our civilization as a general. Oh, if I can't win, not worth playing. I'll try next time. It's like, no, you try until the season is over. Well, who raised you? You know how many shitty youth sports I was on? You know how bad I was at youth sports a lot of times? I came home and said, I want to quit. My dad said, too bad. Fuck you. Go back to practice. I already paid $35 for this team. You're going to be playing. And you go out there and
I already paid. I can't get a refund.
Yeah, and you go out, you might get your ass kicked, but you build a little character. And people's analysis, you're describing human beings on a different level than you. They don't operate like this. They don't wake up in the mirror and go, wow, we're 4-5. I should throw in the towel. They're 4-5. They think they're going to win every fucking game. These guys are maniacs.
These are also people that refer to the crop of talent that is right below the top 0.01%. And they call them trash.
Yes.
Which again, because the analogy is like, when do you ever do your job shitty? Because whatever Q2 isn't going that well. I'm just going to kick my feet up until Q3 starts. Maybe that's a sales move. I don't know. Maybe that, but yeah. So Brett Rippon 2020, Jordan Love 2021.
Yeah. Rams should be able to run the ball, and I think they're going to be able to throw the ball. Maybe I'm buying too much into McVay, but this Packers team, while I don't think they're intentionally tanking, they don't have much team chemistry. They don't have much gut, and
are the Rams going to show up? Because they didn't show up last week. We were very disappointed. No, and they no-showed against the Cowboys. They allowed the Cowboys to rest for almost a full quarter in preparation for a game against your Eagles, Sean.
True.
Bullshit. It's because McVay and the baby. That's what I'm worried about. Back-to-back road spot. He's FaceTiming with the wife and kid at night. He's not thinking about the fucking Packers.
There's a lot of reasons not to bet the Rams, but ultimately the Packers defense is why I'm.
Can I give you one more?
Sure.
Because you're right, the Packers defense is a problem, but there's reports are starting to surface. Packers franchise are not sold on Jordan Love as the answer.
Yeah, forward. I mean,
does he have that game?
I think LaFleur might be losing the locker room when you keep playing the worst quarterback, and we've seen that with some other teams, a la the Falcons. You can lose the You can lose the locker room.
Is Matt Stafford better than Brett Rippon by more than 4.5 points?
Probably, yeah. But again, I've been kind of high on Stafford, but also what version of Stafford? Like these nickel and dime injuries kept adding up.
Give me the Packers. Hate it.
Mm.
This one doesn't make sense.
So Ryan 6-0 to the favorites.
Yeah, but you're on the public dog.
Yeah, that's got fleece.
Dog.
Brett Rippon, backup quarterback. I have to stand.
Oh,
for
we're
something.
about to be 7 favorites.
Tampa Bay, the Bucks, another back-to-back road spot here. Something like I pointed out earlier, has not been a
long rest for the Bucks
because they're coming off Thursday night. Well said. Which also that's been a positive trend. Bucks catching 2.5 points here, plus 130 on the money line, minus 150 for the Texans. 40 is the total. I mean, the Bucks have not been scoring a lot of points lately. I think maybe the book is out on Baker again, and he's starting to look a little bit more like the guy we have the large sample size on than the guy we were excited about in the beginning of the season with the small sample size.
And I do think he deserves some criticism, but I think also like the play calling is pretty bad. It's a combination of bad play calling and then Baker holding on to the ball way too long. I think those from watching that,
I think Baker needs a run game too.
Yes,
I think the bad play calling coupled with the lack of an ability to run.
They're trying to force this running game that is not existent. Rashad White isn't he's like a third down change of pace guy, and they don't have that stud. I mean, if any team, I don't
Sean,
know.
relax. The same nerds that you were angry at before are going to point out Rashad White's RAS score.
Well,
it's so funny. They go from like jerking off his RAS score to look how inefficient he was.
Well, and
he
they
barely broke any tackles.
I do agree with the nerds. The first down is a down to be throwing the ball, but they just keep running Rashad White into that offensive line, and it puts them in these 3rd and longs. But if Mike Evans can eat, then they can do some damage. Defense.
Well, Houston, similar problem last week. They kind of got stuck on the run game a bit. Maybe cost them the game against the Panthers.
Well, yeah, it was interesting because they seemingly Panthers were like, all right, hey, we're not going to let CJ Stroud beat us. We're going to force Damian Pierce, former dog, has small dog energy now, and Devin Singletary to beat us, and they just couldn't. They kind of got sucked into the run game, which is they're not good. So Bucks are good at stopping the run. Texans don't want to run. Bucks give up pass plays, and Texans want to throw the ball. I think this actually, I know Bobby, Slowick is more of a 49ers style run action, etc. But I think the Texans are going to be able to throw on this Bucks defense.
Oh, so you like the Texan? You're hopping off the
yeah.
Baker
I mean,
train?
I had a
a little shocked. That's all.
I had a soft spot for the Bucks, but I think I got to get off it here. Tampa Bay on the road, Houston coming off a loss.
Well,
I do think I've seen some things from Houston that I like, and matchup wise, it's going to be a tough game for the Bucks. And Baker, man, the holding on to the ball too long thing, well, I think is some of his fault, and play calling some of it, and the run game, it's just not working.
Yeah, and you were mentioning it with Slowick,
and them covering against the Bills was the miracle of all miracles.
Oh,
it was.
At least you're accepting that now.
Yeah.
Okay.
When did I say not?
Oh, when we were talking about it, because I was on the Bills and you were on the Bucks.
Oh, I was celebrating. I'm like, yeah,
never a doubt.
Yeah, that was being sarcastic because there was a 4th down play where they tried to rip the guy's helmet off. Then there was another 4th down play where they got bailed out by illegal contact, and then the touchdown pass bounced off the defender's hands right into Mike Evans' hands.
Horrible outcome. And Slowick was the passing game coordinator for the Niners, Sean. So
yes,
he is he does like the pass. I wonder, sometimes you see this with these new coaches, these young new coaches, when they make an egregious mistake, they generally rapidly adjust and maybe even, if anything, swing the pendulum a little too hard the other way. So I got to imagine he's going to self scout and realize that he fucked up, and we're going to see a lot of pass. Because guess what? What do the Houston Texans do? The only thing the Houston Texans do on the same level as elite teams in this league is pass the ball. 5th offensive pass DVOA. And I think at the end of the day, this Tampa team, I'll go a little bit further than you. I actually think that Houston's defensive line is going to be a problem for the Bucks.
Yeah.
And Baker. And it's not necessarily going to be in like a typical pass rush way. It's going to be that they just get dominated and they're pushing the line back every fucking play. And so, yeah, look, keep the favorites coming. I'm on my if someone could reach out to me with the teams that I'm clearly rooting for this year, and in the order you think I'm rooting for them in, that'd be great. I do love this.
Falcons. You talk bad about Ryan's Falcons. It's
no, they're not number one on my power.
100%.
No, they're not. 100%. They're not.
No, well, I'll say
they're not.
You might not have them graded as high as your other.
I
lovers,
do love Arthur Smith,
but
he's a billionaire and he chose to coach football. I fucking love this guy.
As far as you take it personal when people disrespect them, it's 100% the Falcons. 100%.
Maybe you're right.
100%.
I'll have to think about that. All right, couple more early games to go. Washington heads to New England to take on the Patriots. The Pats are laying 3.
It's a baby fucking wheel, man.
In their look ahead game to London, I wonder if
Germany.
Germany. I wonder if Uncle Bill has any plans to retrieve anything while he's over there. Maybe he's planning ahead this week. Be pretty funny if he just quit in Germany. Washington plus 135. Ron Rivera, a 40.5 is the total. So many low totals. Ron Rivera still coaching. We lost out on that one, Sean.
Yeah, bummer.
McDaniels beat him to the finish line on getting fired. Expect possibly some rain in this one. It seems like there's some smattering of kind of like wet weather all about on the East Coast. Got a mostly cloudy weather, should be in the 60s, and some light winds coming out of the southwest. Potential rain from the weatherman. This is a game we didn't need. Like I don't really need to talk about this one because my brain is like, oh no, this is going to be the game where Mac Jones looks good. I mean, think about it. They just hired a new offensive analyst. AKA Josh McDaniels is coming home. Like you said,
did they hire him?
Oh, you don't think he's going to be in the building by Sunday?
But I
as an analyst,
I didn't think I didn't see anything.
It's like Connor Stallions. You hire him as an analyst. You don't have to be specific on what his job duties are.
Connor Stallions.
Get Josh.
What a great name.
Have him be Joe Judge's assistant for all I care. I do think he will be back in the building eventually.
Yeah. No, I don't doubt that. I was
there
just
will be material. I guarantee it affects the offense in a positive way.
Well,
too.
and the Skins,
which is super ironic.
They traded Montez Sweat and Chase Young.
Does that matter? Montez Sweat's good.
Chase Young, I don't know. I don't know.
People are acting like they traded away. Like the best players on their defensive line are still there.
Yeah. No, I think they traded. I think, and I'll counter this by saying I think this actually could be a step up. Usually, when you get rid of, so the reason they got rid of Montez Sweat and Chase Young, why'd they do that, Ryan? Because they didn't want to pay him, right?
Well, Montez Sweat, yeah, they've already invested in their 2 defensive
Chase
tackles.
Young, kind of a pain in the ass too.
Montez Sweat, it was kind of like, from what I understand, they weren't really looking to get rid of him. When the Bears said, "Hey, you want this really good pick?" They're like, "All right, cool."
Well, and now it gives an opportunity for the guys behind him.
Next man up.
Some money just might be. I get a couple sacks. These guys know how they get paid. They get sacks. They're not thinking about rebuilding years or acquiring assets. They're thinking about becoming a fucking millionaire 5 times over by getting a couple sacks on Mac Jones. And the Patriots lost their best skill player, Kendrick Bourne. He's out for the season. Can you really trust this Patriots dog shit offense to cover a number?
This is a step down in defense for them.
Quietly, Ron Rivera 2-0 straight up and ATS versus Belichick in his career as a head coach. Skins not afraid to grab some garbage as well. Pat's looking ahead to Germany.
Oh wow!
I agree.
I'm shocked.
I agree. This isn't a fun game. And if you can find the 3.5, certainly play that. But Mac Jones 1-15 straight up when the opponent scored more than 24 points. I think the Skins might be able to get 24.
But what quarterback has looked bad against this Washington defense? I understand he just lost his top target in Kendrick Bourne, but isn't this the game where Mac Jones looks good? Because Washington's defense does the same fucking thing every time, and now they are working with backup pass rushers, one of which Sean, I believe, came from Philly, Casey Toonhill.
Yep.
He'll be starting along
Desmond Ridder didn't look great against the Commanders, if you're asking.
Oh, how many yards did he go for?
Let's see. 307.
Oh my God.
3 interceptions.
But Desmond Ridder threw for 300 yards on you.
Yeah, I could see Mac Jones 307 yards, 3 interceptions. That sounds like a Mac Jones stat line.
So you're doing it. Huh?
I mean, Tyrod Taylor didn't light the world on fire, Ryan.
I think you have to take the Patriots, right?
I'm taking the Patriots.
Yeah. I just don't think you can take the Commanders until Ron Rivera's fired.
Okay. So you're on New England.
That's what I just said.
Sorry.
You agreed with me.
No, I agreed with you. I'm taking the Commanders.
Oh.
Who are the Commanders? They're the team to take this week.
Okay.
Well, and you're keeping your streak alive.
Of what? Of favorites?
8 favorites.
8 favorites? How many games we picking this week?
We've taken 8 so far.
Nice.
14 games.
Worth pointing out, the last time the Commanders played a game after they lost the heartbreaking game to Philly, they got their ass beat by the Chicago Bears 40-20 in what was one of the more shocking outcomes of the NFL season. Good luck, Sean. Next up, last early game, Chicago, those Bears, another back-to-back road spot here, Sean. They're heading to New Orleans to take on the Saints. The Saints are just what a puzzling enigma. Bears looking ahead to Thursday Night Football. Saints
are not coming off the bye.
Not coming off the bye.
Yes. If you're looking at the graphic.
Oh no, we missed that one. Fire someone. Look, to me, this is Tyson Bagent. We heard no more stories of what he does in his free time this past week after he didn't get
the arm wrestling stories go away when you get destroyed by the Chargers.
A lot less interesting. And I don't know. This Saints team is just not covering. No way is this a team that profiles as someone you want to lay a big number with. They've only covered spreads as big as -2 this year. So, I don't really know what to do here. The Saints suck. I don't know.
And if you want to look at a bigger point, Derek Carr as a favorite, 18-34-2. Worst of all the quarterbacks in the last 20 years. So I'm not taking him.
We are starting him.
Yes.
In our high stakes.
I think it could be. I think quietly this game has shootout vibes, and I'm an eye test guy. I know it looked bad for Bagent, but I mean that drop in the end zone. There was a couple of other plays, and if they just got a little bit more out of their defense, I thought Tyson Bagent looked comfortable. I don't think he looked completely lost like we've seen some quarterbacks be. And I think the Saints struggle against slot receivers. Lattimore, will he be able to hang with DJ Moore? Probably, but I think it could create some opportunities here for Darnell Mooney. And the Saints are they're a very tough team to figure out. They're randomly worse at home than they are on the road.
That's been like a couple years now.
And also you look at the Saints defense, they let Gardner Minshew hang around. And I think Bagent kind of has some Gardner Minshew vibes. I think now certainly what could break this is, Rashid Shaheed, couple bombs and this thing gets opened up against the Bears secondary. But Montez Sweat coming through. It looks like he's going to play. I'll take the Bears in the 8 points.
Will Montez Sweat be on the team this time next year? Unlike Chase Claypool.
Well, they did say, and the Bears gave up a 2nd-round pick for him. So you think, okay, they must have an extension in place. And they asked him, he goes, "Yeah, I don't know. We'll see how things go at the end of the year. I want to make sure it's the right place." Like, oh my God, imagine if they gave up a 2nd-round pick for him and he doesn't resign.
Who's running that team?
Well, it's one thing if you're. I mean, even a 2nd-round pick for a rental for half a season is crazy. But for a team that's nowhere near the playoffs, but that being said, Montez Sweat is a good guy to have on your defensive line.
The Bears defense has been getting better as well.
They have.
And the strength of the team, not surprisingly, after bringing in a couple linebackers, is stopping the run. You can kind of talk yourself into. You think about some of the plays that really helped the Saints last week, and what were they? Fucking Taysom Hill plays.
Yes.
I was actually trolling around my best ball team, Sean. A decent amount of my best ball teams on Underdog are enjoying Taysom Hill as being the 3rd tight end. I only wish I had drafted more of them. Yeah, I think this strangely is a good matchup. for the Bears. I don't love the general situation. The Bears aren't exactly a franchise I'm looking to take in a back-to-back road spot. You were sharing with me that there's been another mysterious positional coach fired.
Oh yes, I wrote that down.
From the Bears.
The running back coach got fired also over workplace behavior. So
I'm guessing he's also just leaving to spend some time with his family. And
yeah, I mean the defensive coordinator got out in front of it. Medical illness, spending time with the family. Running back coach was just.
You have to know when to come.
He just had to turn in his playbook over at HR. Were they involved, Ryan? I want to know. Were they involved in the same inappropriate workplace behavior? Were there? Is there like a Bears key party or like swingers group that we're unaware of? What the hell's going on?
I mean, it's an NFC North thing, I assume, but they obviously got some whores and went on
trip?
a boat.
Yeah.
It's barely a trip. You just kind of cruise around the marina. You just float. You're not going anywhere. Yeah, there's some joke there about it being a round trip, and yet everyone comes. All right, so yeah,
and Bears are decent at stopping the run. I like their chances.
That's the answer. I think that's the answer to the question. So I guess I'm taking a dog, and it's the Bears. Oof.
One dog, and it's an ugly dog. Hey Ryan, if you're thinking of if you're listening to the show, watching the show over on YouTube, and you got some parlay ideas, I know our audience has parlay ideas. We always give out DJs only parlays. Gave one out on the Thursday night props episode. We'll be giving some out on our VSiN show, our paper ticket parlays. Those are super fun. And every time I'm putting together a parlay, you know what? I fire up Hall of Fame bets and their parlay optimizer. Great to get deep data, stats, and it's really good to get. You can see the hit rates broken down by leg, as well as the expected probability for the entire parlay. It just makes it so much easier. If you're watching on YouTube, there's literally green boxes, good, red boxes, no. And you can see where you're getting a good price and see where you're not getting a good price. Stop betting in the dark. Join over 30,000 users researching with Hall of Fame bets to craft more intelligent, data-driven parlays. Download the Hall of Fame bets app or visit HOFbets.com and use code SGPN to get 50% off your first month today. Start researching, Ryan. Start winning with Hall of Fame bets.
Speaking of green and red boxes, I have been doing some light development on the side, Sean, and the sheets might be getting upgraded.
Oh, hell yeah! And of course,
predicting by week 10 or 11, we might have the debut.
Yeah, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. Not only do we have our NFL picks, but any sort of props we give out, all those in one convenient place, make it easy for you to find those. We give them out for free on the show and on the website. But if you want a total exhaustive list of everything we've given out, including on our VSiN show, Patreon is the place to go.
Yeah, especially if you're driving around, you want to pull over. You don't want to write all this stuff down. All right. Next up, we're done with the early slate, Sean. And unfortunately, they've given us a 3-game late slate that involves some interesting matchups. Fortunately, I guess you'll have your eyes on one game and won't need to pay attention to these. But Indy, Carolina, the Colts. I mean, this is just why is this needs to be a 105 West Coast kick? I do not know. Colts are looking ahead to their game against the Patriots in Germany. Meanwhile, the Panthers are looking ahead to Thursday night. Colts are somehow a public team, Sean. I don't know if I ever thought we would see Gardner Minshew getting 76% of the bets. There is a chance of rain in this one from our weatherman, mostly sunny. So we got a little disagreement here. 70, maybe we have to have a weather off. 70s with some light breeze out of the southwest. This is my favorite nugget that I dug up this week, Sean. In games that Gardner Minshew has started, there have been an average of 60 points. Not a totals guy. That's incredible. That's incredible.
Bonkers.
The Colts have given up 37, 38, and 39 points over the last 3 games. That's also ridiculous. Last funny nugget. They made the play calling change in Carolina.
Oh, huge news, Ryan. And you saw that electric Panthers.
Frank
offense.
Reich averaging 18.7 points per game. Meanwhile, new play caller Thomas Brown only 15.
Well, I do think I will say the Colts defense did look noticeably better. Brian Burns getting going there. He could give the Colts offense some trouble. Jonathan Taylor, very weird game against the Saints. I think had something like 11 for 94 in the first half, and then only 1 carry in the second half. He's not listed.
Makes sense.
No, it doesn't make any sense. Not listed on the injury report. I don't know what's going on there. Colts are kind of banged up in general. 4 starters missed practice, including right tackle Braden Smith. So maybe the Panthers get some pass rush there. Gardner Minshew 2-13 straight up in his last 15 games. But also,
how dare you?
The Panthers just didn't look that good, even in their win.
There was no version of this week where you were coming in and saying, you know what, I want to back the Panthers.
I can't do it. I can't do it. But and also really why we were mentioning the quarterback play, defense, but to me it is Jonathan Taylor. I do think this Colts team might be able to run the ball a little bit against this Panthers.
What about the Frank Reich revenge spot?
True, that's definitely a spot.
He'll be mad too, right? Like he seems a little bitter about it.
But
like he doesn't like Irsay, but maybe he liked her. In hindsight, maybe Irsay was a better owner than this new guy.
Yeah, he
meddling in his shit.
Yeah, I mean, you heard him talking about the other owner. It's just like, you know, bumping into your ex that you still have a thing for. You're maybe like, hey, maybe we should get coffee, grab a drink, catch up. I mean, come on, what are we doing here? I can't take this Panthers team. If they beat me here again, so be it. I'm going Colts -2.5.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to agree with you. But this is gonna. I feel like we're being a little stubborn here.
Really?
Like I think there's.
If I saw any pulse from that Panthers offense, the only thing that I saw, and
they scored a game-winning drive. They had a game-winning drive.
Yeah, it was a field goal, but they 15 points at home against the Texans defense. That's like, okay. Yeah. And maybe they'll have an offensive explosion against the Colts.
Colts aren't very good on defense.
I saw the same issues that I saw previously. No one's open, and Bryce Young is scared to throw the ball, and they can't run the ball. I mean, they bench Miles Sanders. Chuba Hubbard isn't better.
The Miles Sanders thing's hilarious.
Yeah,
he was
paid
available
Miles
for
Sanders.
trade. You idiots.
Yeah, they paid Miles Sanders. I think some of it. I mean, I saw him last year with the Eagles. I didn't think he was worth giving a ton of money to. I was fine with them not re-signing him, but I did think he had more juice than what he's shown in Carolina. So I just don't think Carolina is particularly well coached. And maybe this is a Shane Steichen revenge game against his former mentor, Frank Reich. So I'll take the Colts.
Carolina, 14 people limited or did not practice.
Yeah, they're
Wednesday.
also super banged up. The only consistent thing with Carolina is Adam Thielen. The catch thing, the PPR cheat code continues.
All right, I guess give me another favorite, Sean. Another road favorite with getting public money. Ugh. This
only 8 catches for Adam Thielen.
This almost feels actually. You know what? This almost feels like Green Bay, where I just need to get cute. I can't get cute here. Bryce Young just not that good. If they win another nasty game, I guess maybe I'll have to rethink.
No, I mean, to me, if they win, it'll be because they're defense. But
that's what I'm saying. If they win another nasty game, I think we need to reevaluate.
Yeah, I'm still down on the Panthers.
Panthers great teaser leg. Not even you're not even willing to go there.
No, not at all. Why would you tease this game?
If I think the biggest thing, and you kind of touched on it, was the Jonathan Taylor thing. Whatever happened that caused Jonathan Taylor to not get all the work, they'll fix that this week. I
think so.
All right, next up, 125 on the West Coast. Giants head to Las Vegas. Sean, we will be seeing cousin Mush on Friday.
Oh, yes.
He'll be out there with my other cousin who doesn't have a cool name for the game. I will not be going to the game. Dan Jones will be going to the game and has been cleared for contact. Sean, the world is
out of the chair.
The world is waiting for your injury diagnosis for this weekend on him. And
he will play. What they were doing was they were waiting to see how good Tyrod looked, and then Tyrod got hurt, and they're like, "All right, shit, put Dan Jones back in."
That's one version. And on the other side, you have Josh McDaniels gets fired, the GM gets fired, the offensive coordinator gets fired, and Antonio Pierce is named head coach.
Yes.
And fun fact: Antonio Pierce did grow up in Long Beach, so he grew up a Raiders fan. But you may remember him playing linebacker for my New York Football Giants. Definitely the best linebacker the Giants have had since the heyday of Lawrence Taylor and Harry Carson and Carl Banks. But he's also known for being the guy who got in some trouble in Arizona State.
Yep.
For some recruiting violations that more or less he was pushing the envelope on getting kids on campus. He was pushing out football coaches who were developing kids on the field for recruiters who knew how to drop the bag off the field. And he escaped punishment in college and took a job with the Las Vegas Raiders, where he's been a linebackers coach. And here, I think the Raiders are kind of strangely equipped to make this in-game or in-season decision, and they understand the value of not burdening someone that will be calling plays with the duties of being the head coach. I think this is actually Mark Davis catches a lot of shit, but he did the same thing with Rich Bisaccia.
Rich Bisaccia had a nice little run there,
and having a passion guy take over as an interim coach, makes more sense, right? Like just get someone who's going to only be in charge of like talking to the media,
leader of men,
rah, call the timeouts. Although I have some worries about Antonio Pierce calling the timeouts and throwing the challenge flag. Patrick Graham had a big chip on his shoulder when he left the Giants organization for not getting a real chance at the head coaching job. I can't imagine this is making him feel good.
Dog.
Like what? You fired the offensive coordinator. I'm sitting here and you're going to make this fucking asshole the head coach. So I wonder if that will turn into something.
Well, you know what?
He was a McDaniels guy. Like Patrick Graham was a Belichick guy through and through. He coached for Judge. He left the Giants, even though the Giants, Dable wanted to keep him. He left to go be with McDaniels. I do wonder if there's going to be any strangeness with the Patrick Graham and the defense. That being said, I don't know why people are getting excited that Aiden O'Connell is coming in for Jimmy Graham.
Aiden O'Connell's coming in for Jimmy G. I think the bigger thing is people really didn't like Josh McDaniels. And I mean, I tweeted it out that the Bill Belichick coaching tree, I mean, the SEC should investigate it because it is literally a Ponzi scheme. Listen to these guys that come out of the Bill Belichick coaching tree: Romeo Crennel, Eric Mangini, Jim Schwartz, all guys. Bill O'Brien. Bill O'Brien is one of the few guys that actually has a winning record as a head coach. Matt Patricia, Brian Flores, Joe Judge, Josh McDaniels, Brian Dable. You don't have good coaches coming out of this Bill Belichick coaching tree. It's amazing that. What are you shaking your head, Ryan?
Oh, you're exposing yourself as TMZ fan.
How so?
A coaching tree is not just a stop along the way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But
you slid Brian Dable in there. That's embarrassing.
Brian Dable should be on the hot seat. The fact that he's not, the fact that his decisions led to losing that game, I think is crazy. And you mentioned it, Leonard Williams being traded, or you didn't mention it actually. Leonard Williams being traded, I think will have a big impact on this game because I think Josh Jacobs is going to run all over this Giants defense, and the Giants defense has been playing better, but I think losing Leonard Williams, going on the road out to Las Vegas, Darren Waller will be out on Sunday. Ryan, not great for the mustache bet for you there. I think Max.
All things considered, I'm very pleased to only be down 2 point something days. I don't know if Josh has that graphic ready, but considering how poorly the Giants have been playing, I'll take where I'm at right now. Sounds like 2 weeks. Waller's out.
Hamstring. He is a nagging hamstring.
Yeah, I guess you're
David Bakhtiari playing?
Your somewhat attempt to have an objective take is
no,
everything checks out until you just like get everything off the table.
Yes,
everything off the table. So one, like you're deep into football. Here's the bet. So yeah, 2.6 days right now. You're deep into football.
Yep.
Daniel Jones practiced against Patrick Graham's defense for years.
True.
That's one thing that we know to be a fact. Two, Wink Martindale's defense has been turned the fuck up, and he's going against another rookie in his first start. If this was Jimmy G, I think you'd have a much better case. for the veteran, for the rah coach comes in. Yeah, they rally around it.
If Josh McDaniels was still coaching this, I would be on the Giants. But
no. I'm saying new coach, new everything without the quarterback change, and you can talk to me.
Okay.
Aiden O'Connell. Why are we? What has Aiden O'Connell done that makes you so certain he's going to be this massive upgrade over Jimmy G? Why was Jimmy G playing like shit? Because he was getting pressure in his face. And what does Wink Martindale do? He burst pipe with his pressure. Remember we talked about this.
Yeah, and then Zach Wilson won the game.
Oh, stop it.
No,
Wink Martindale's defense did their job.
This is a dead coach bounce.
Yeah, game. That's fair.
Josh McDaniels was not liked in that building, and they will. I mean, Davante Adams himself. Davante Adams got this coach fired. You don't think he's gonna ball the fuck out? You don't think they're gonna rework the game? Why did they lose against Detroit? Because they couldn't get the ball to Davante Adams. Who on the Giants defense is stopping Davante Adams?
It's going to be a real. I'm excited to see how Deontay Banks does against them. It's going to be a tough matchup. But again, the quarterback has to get him the ball.
Yeah,
Garrett Wilson didn't shred the Giants last week because the pressure was a problem, and I think the same thing could happen this week. You nailed it though. Like Leonard Williams not being there, they have
and Garrett Wilson had 7 for 100, so I would consider that a good game.
Okay, I mean you're killing me with the.
Do you not think that's a good game?
He didn't impact the game.
Okay, because
he didn't impact the game.
Okay, I think Davante Adams is going to play well and impact the game.
Okay. It's a rookie quarterback.
True.
You're completely disregarding that.
Yes.
And essentially what this line is stating is that Jimmy Garoppolo is worth 1 point. That's crazy. That's insane.
Okay.
Based on what? What has Aiden O'Connell done other than like DT?
I think you're hung up on the wrong stuff.
What do you mean? You don't think the quarterback matters?
Not tremendously in this game. Like I said, I think Josh Jacobs is going to they're going to get a heavy dose of Josh Jacobs and a heavy dose of very easy catchable Davante Adams stuff that he's going to have yards after the catch.
Okay. Good luck.
Thank you.
I'll take the points. Again, the market, the line doesn't make sense.
1.5.
Yeah, also a short week. I'm not also doing all of this on a short week.
I'm not a market dynamics
where the
guy.
coach has been fired.
You know, get your
so when do they deploy
your stock ticker out?
Well, Sean, like let's walk through a football week. You're a football guy. When do you install the offensive game plan? I'm assuming you've done a little bit already before Wednesday morning when you fire the coach.
Yeah, I think they come in and go, "Hey, shit's gonna change."
Yeah, I'm just saying that you got rid of the offensive coordinator. Who's calling plays, Sean? I'm sure you did that, Reed. Like that he's called plays before. You not worried about that?
No.
Okay. Dallas heads to Philly, where the Eagles looking to the bye. Probably going to be some weather here. Eagles laying 3 -160 on the money line. Cowboys +140. 47 is the total. Flowchart game. Dallas owns Philly.
How so?
Last 5 years, 7-3 straight up in ATS.
Come on. You want to talk about exposing yourself. How many of those games had Gardner Minshew? How many of the games were they resting their starters?
We're just talking about a flow. We talk about flow charts on this show.
Yeah. Well, Gardner Minshew is not starting this game.
Okay.
So I think 2 of those are Gardner Minshew games, and then you have a game where they're resting their starters.
Okay.
Maybe even more than that, honestly.
What's Jalen Hurts done versus the Cowboys? You want to zoom in all the way?
Jalen Hurts 0-1 when playing Dak. But if you want to,
1-2. He's thrown for 4 interceptions.
Okay.
I mean, I guess either way, not a good look versus Dallas, unfortunately.
Yeah, and Jalen Hurts is on the ultimate revenge tour. I think. And AJ Brown playing out of his mind. He's all the way down to 10-1 for offensive player of the year. So shout out to everyone who rode along with me when I gave it out to 50-1.
That's not over yet.
No, but I'm saying like you can sell that ticket on the secondary market for a nice profit. You're welcome.
Go buy insurance, ladies and gentlemen.
Jalen Carter, full participant, and that to me is the biggest thing. Jalen Carter was dealing with the back thing, missed the game, but now he's looking to be 100%. And I think that is the impact player that could really make a difference for this Eagles defense. Eagles offensive line has had good luck against the I don't even know what you call it luck, but they're pretty good at protecting the quarterback against the Cowboys defensive line. And the Cowboys, kind of like the Dolphins, a little bit fraudulent. They struggle when they go up a class as far as teams. You saw them go into San Francisco and get their asses fucking whooped. I expect a similar outcome here in Philadelphia. The Eagles are a better version of the 49ers, and the home team has won the last 8 meetings, excluding when the Eagles sat their starters. I know Ryan likes to factor that into his trends. I don't think.
What
that
do you mean?
I
pulled the last 5 years of data. That's how we do the flow charts.
Oh, I don't. I think I would. Look
I didn't know you wanted to zoom in. The only game started by Jalen Hurts against Dak Prescott. Sorry.
Yeah, no,
I know you typically zoom your trends into the exact matchup that we're dealing with this week.
Ryan's mad again. I think the Eagles again, better offensive line, better defensive line. Teams firing on all cylinders. I mean, they're 7-1, best record in the NFL, and while still having a negative turnover differential. If they can clean that up just a little bit, look out. And I think they will in this game. And last but not least, Lincoln Financial Field in a primetime spot here essentially is going to be a tough place. I know Micah Parsons on his podcast wanted it to sound like a Dallas home game, which is comical that he thinks that would be possible.
Well, he said that, huh?
Yeah, but
are people from Philly not liking him anymore?
Micah Parsons?
Yeah, you were into him after he said that you guys were number 1 in his power rankings. Now you're out on him because he invited some Dallas fans to the stadium.
What? No, I was never in on him.
Yeah, you said you loved how he had you guys number 1.
Oh, I did think it was hilarious, and I pointed out on the show if I was a Cowboys fan, I would talk shit on him. I think it's pretty funny that he named the Eagles his number 1 team and said they had no weaknesses. And shout out to Serial, Hurts got his wins against non-Dak teams.
Well,
you're right.
Yeah, that's what you just pointed out.
I said he's 0-1 against Dak, and that changes come Sunday.
Nice. Yeah, you got to lay the points.
What are your reasoning? I thought this was a flow chart game.
It is. I can't take the Cowboys.
Oh, okay.
Are you worried about Hurts? Just get him into the bye week.
Oh, about his knee?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not on the injury report, but he's
hurt. I mean, again, he plays through pain. Some guys opt out of playing. But
Daniel isn't it Jones. More important to play through the pain in the postseason? Like, why? What are we scrapping for right now?
Well, Ryan, every game is important in the NFL, and if you're trying to get the number 1 seed and get into the playoffs, I do think it's important to play. And yeah, I think he'll rest during the bye week.
But you won't be saying that if he goes down with some sort of knee injury, that it's caused because he's playing weak because he's injured.
I don't know what point you're making. I think he is slightly banged up with his knee. He's still playing at a very high level. It's just like this weird defensive point that every Eagles fans gets about his leg. What do you mean?
That he's not hurt. He's clearly limping when he's running around, and it's interesting that they're like doing their best to hide it. There's a difference between
being hurt and being injured.
No, all right. Well, it's just odd that they're going out of their way to like hide it by not even discussing it on the injury report. That he's clearly
discussed
limited.
It in every press conference since it became a thing.
All right. I mean, it's just odd that he's okay. He's not limited, but he looks limited.
He does.
Yeah.
I mean, if he looks limited, throwing for 319 yards and 4 touchdowns, then I guess you're right. He's limited.
Yeah, and he's the team. You said it. We've agreed on this point. I know it's hard for your brain to reconcile that I could agree with you about an Eagles point. But they are going to be better at the end of the season than they are now, and part of that is because he's not playing his best ball.
Okay, I think he's still playing at a high level.
Okay,
but yeah, you're right. Maybe he can play better.
But it's odd that you're not even willing to accept that he's clearly limited with his leg and his movement. It's just an odd thing for. It's not just you. It's all Eagles fans. It's just weird.
Dude, what are you talking about? He picked up a first down with his legs and he threw for 319 yards. How is that limited?
He's playing with a bum leg.
It was one of his best games. But so how is that limited?
Because he clearly is limping. Like what are you talking about? You don't think he's hurt at all?
No, he is.
Okay.
He is. He is. You can be hurt and still play at a high level.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Your brain can't wrap your head around what I'm saying.
What do you mean my brain can't wrap?
Because I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying that he's playing well in spite of being banged up. And why is everyone trying to hide the fact that he's banged up?
They're not trying to hide it. Literally
You're getting so defensive right now, saying he's not hurt.
I didn't say that.
Some people play hurt and some people can't play injured. That's what you're saying.
I didn't. When did I say he's not banged up? What do you?
Bills head to Cincinnati on Sunday Night Football.
They're not trying to hide it. They it's in every Eagles press conference.
Okay.
Every piece of media talks about his knee.
Okay.
How is that hiding it?
Then he's not limited.
I don't know what you mean by that.
Bills head to Cincinnati to take on the Bengals. It's just a weird thing for every Eagles fan to get defensive in the same way.
What is ultimately what's your point? I honestly don't get where you're going at.
I just don't. I don't understand why it's this point that gets you so defensive.
I'm not defensive. His knee is banged up.
It's odd that they're not disclosing him on the injury report ever. It's odd that he clearly looks hurt, and it's odd they're not talking about it in the sense of like maybe he needs some rest. Maybe he doesn't need to play. Maybe you can get him 2 weeks off. So you think? I mean, I don't know I don't know of any NFL coach that goes, "Hey, maybe we should just rest this guy this week." Okay, he's clearly hobbled with a serious knee injury or maybe ankle injury.
Okay, you said the word serious. I think if you're a full participant in practice, it's not that serious.
Okay, I'm just saying he's a strong motherfucking dude, and he's limping like he's hurt. Strong dudes don't have to limp if they're not hurt. Bills head to Cincinnati.
Yes, he is banged up. I've said that a million times. I still don't get what your point is.
The whole season hinges on him. Why is he pushing through at this stage in the season?
So that they can beat the Cowboys and get to the bye week.
Okay. Bills head to Cincinnati to take on the Bengals. Bengals laying 2, -130 on the money line. Bills plus 115.
Same reason Joe Burrow
49.5 is the total. And that might not have worked out well if he goes down for sure.
Joe Burrow's a dog. When you have dog mentality, your instinct isn't to sit out.
But but you guys sometimes you have to save the player from his own instinct.
And they know how hurt he is, and they think he's fine to play. Okay. And clearly he was fine to play because he balled out. Sure,
but I mean okay.
Well, you have his medicals. What should they?
I don't have his medicals.
Oh, okay.
It's unclear as to why you're still trying to debate me on this. I think he should be. I think if I was the Eagles, sit him down a game, let him rest so he can actually be healthy because he does not look. He looks at like 60% right now when he moves.
Okay,
and that's It's impressive at how well he's playing, how well AJ Brown is dominating, to allow him to put up these numbers.
Okay, I trust.
But the turnovers he's creating are very much because he does not have his base. And his base is not stable all the time. And that's why
I disagree with that.
Okay. So his interceptions have nothing to do with his knee injury.
No, I mean, did you watch the the Dolphins interception where it was like going down to the ground, crazy tip up. The interception of Dallas Goedert where it hit Dallas Goedert in the hands, popped up and he intercepted it. The miscommunication I don't think is about his knee.
Okay. Cincinnati laying 2 -130 on the money line. Bills plus 115. 49.5 is the total. Bengals getting the action 70%. Potential weather doesn't seem like it's going to be too serious. Weatherman comes in with some partly cloudy, seeing some chances of rains, 50s and a light breeze. Bengals always seem to have some wind here though. And of course, this is the Damar Hamlin game, although he's not going to play. Because he's not real.
He's a hologram.
Well, why else? If he doesn't play in this game, I would say that his odds are going to drastically plummet in the comeback player of the year market. And producer Josh flexing on us with his some CLV on the Bengals in the futures market.
Yeah, I mean, I when we did our futures podcast, I tossed them out as to win the AFC North 7-1. I mean, that win against the 49ers, they looked very much the Super Bowl contender, firing kind of clicking at the right time. And this Bills defense, I guess they looked okay against the Bucks, but still, I think with no Matt Milano, back end is really rough. Bills traded for Rasul Douglas. I don't know if he's going to make a difference in time. Joe Mixon has been playing really well. And I think Joe Mixon might actually have a decent game, but to me, it's still Josh Allen is still pressing, even though they won and probably should have covered against the Bucks. Like he's still trying to force the ball and like he's still trying to win the game with one throw. He's thrown an interception in 4 straight games. Like he just keeps pressing. I can't trust him on the road to come out and beat Cincinnati. Cincinnati is going to be on fire. I mean, maybe Buffalo digs deep and wins one for DeMar here, but I don't see it, man. How can you fade?
I've been circling this all year. Are you serious? You're not taking the Bengals in the DeMar Bowl? Oh wow. Or in the Bills? That's crazy.
Me?
You can't take the Bengals here.
Oh, 100% I'm on the Bengals. I love the Bengals here. You like the Bills?
Bills coming off we got some rest.
Yeah.
We got the Bills getting back to Josh Allen being a
Hamlin
dog.
is -140 coach of the year. I have a feeling, comeback player of the year, coach of the year as well. I have a feeling they're going to make a huge deal about it on the broadcast. And I think
is he going to play?
I would imagine they trot him out for like a ceremonial play. Now I don't know.
But how can you not take the Bills?
Oh, because they're not in Buffalo. They're in Cincinnati, and Cincinnati's the much better team. And I think Josh Allen, if you remember Josh Allen's comments about getting too hyped up for games and how he needs to calm himself and find that like level, I think he's going to be too hyped up for this game. The Bills themselves are going to be too hyped up for this game. And I think they don't have Matt Milano. Like you can get hyped up, but Joe Burrow as a small favorite or a dog, I'm going to be on seven times out of 7.
This is gonna be a shootout. Give me Josh Allen. I mean, Bengals coming off a nice look. So I can appreciate you wanting to hop on, but we were discussing this game in the offseason, Sean. DeMar Hamlin's gonna walk on the field, and the Bills are gonna win by 1 million.
I think the place will go nuts, and then they'll have this emotional moment.
The Bengals fans are gonna root for the Bills on this night.
But then how can you fade him and comeback player of the year?
Well, if you're saying he's going to play, we're talking about your scenario.
I don't know. He's questionable. I don't know. I have a feeling they'll activate him.
Will they
and
have
give him like
fake?
one special team play?
If he plays, yeah. I mean, this is a great teaser leg too.
I think Cincinnati's lock potential. They're a very good team.
I don't even know how to respond to this. Of course, they're going to be a very good team.
Yeah.
You're suggesting they're firing on all cylinders right now.
Yes, I watched every snap of that Bengals game, and Joe Burrow running around, looking very healthy, playing through the injury and looking better than he has in a long time. Joe Mixon coming to life. The defense I saw push around and create turnovers of a turnover prone Brock Purdy. I think they're going to be able to turn over Josh Allen. I think they have a chip on their shoulder. Do you remember them like doing that coin toss celebration and how pissed off and a chip on the shoulder they had coming into that playoff game? I think they're still mad about losing that game against the Bills because they felt like they got boned. Their path to the Super Bowl, the AFC Championship game probably should have been played in Cincinnati. And I think that's still on their minds.
Yeah, I think Josh Allen slight step up from Brock Purdy, as you call him. But
they both turn the ball over. They both throw interceptions.
Yeah, you look at the game last week, and if you break down the box score, I think the turnovers are the reason for the score disadvantage. You look otherwise, this is a pretty close game, and it's easy to look past that and be like, oh, the Bengals just beat the Niners by 14. That's why the price is what it is. I mean, the Josh Allen's going to make mistakes arguments fair, but I also like the way that without Dawson Knox, they're going into let's just put 5 receivers on the field and let Josh do his thing. I don't think it's going to be the same level of they're going to turn Josh over 3 times in critical situations like they did Brock Purdy. And I think Josh Allen and this offense are going to look good. I think Diggs doesn't have. I don't see what Diggs is going to.
Spreading it out is better for them, but
especially against this defense, and I'm not sure what the answer is for Diggs for Kincaid. I do think that everyone loves to jerk off this Lou Anarumo fucking defensive coordinator.
Very good.
We'll see. I mean, his whole thing is like, I'm going to force you to do it underneath. I have a feeling this could be a big Josh Allen with his legs game. I think this is going to be a game you're going to want to hop into Josh Allen scoring the first touchdown. And I think this is going to be like a nuclear game from Josh Allen. So, and maybe Joe Burrow punches back, but maybe the
100%. Joe Burrow's not losing this game at home.
Maybe like we've seen
not in prime time
in the months since the Damar Hamlin fell on the field and then rose again. The Bengals fans are rooting for Damar Hamlin as well. So I can't believe I can't believe you're taking. The whole world is rooting for Damar Hamlin on this night, and you're taking the Bengals.
Yeah, 100%.
Ultimate heel move. There, and somehow everyone else is taking the Bengals because 70% whatever it was percent of the bets.
So then how is everyone rooting for them?
They're not. Shame on everyone. This is crazy. All right, Monday night Chargers Jets catching 3.5 at home. Plus 145 on the money line, minus 170 for the Chargers. 40.5 is the total. This game's stupid. We have to take the Jets.
Oh, 100%.
We have to take the Jets.
100%.
I did stumble into Jets 1-6 in the first half ATS. So heads up on that one. Fortunately,
I mean, this is just the ultimate Chargers spot, right? Big win. And now they go on the road to the East Coast. And this Jets defense, to their credit, they pride themselves on doing well against big name quarterbacks. I think they're going to get up for this game. And I think if there's any defense, the Zach Wilson may find some success. It might be against the Chargers. Justin Herbert still has that weird ET foam finger thing going. And yeah, I mean, the Jets are going to be 5-3. This is, I mean, you can't, especially at 3.5.
Why did the number move 2 points from the look ahead from 1.5 to 3.5? How do you explain that?
Because Chargers, everyone's like, oh, Chargers are good now. Look, they blew out the Bears. I mean, that's the only thing that happened. I don't think the Jets pulling out that ugly victory against the Giants caused a lot of confidence in the Jets. But the Jets are they're a good team. They're a nice home dog. This is
we're completely just throwing out our take the Chargers on the road, fade them at home.
Yeah, because that system doesn't apply this year. We've seen that. I mean, they just blew out a team at home.
No, I know. I'm just verifying.
Yeah, no, I think Jets are a live dog here, especially at 3.5. Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah, I mean the Chargers doing well in prime time and the line moving 2 points feels like something you want to fade, right? But then you look at the Jets' offensive line. You're not at all worried about the fact that they're rolling out like third string guys at almost every position.
Yeah, I this is not.
It's got to be a Breece Hall game, right? Like
Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson continues to have good games, regardless of how bad his quarterback is. I mean, he won Offensive Rookie of the Year with Zach Wilson. They do have some level of chemistry, and I think they can light up this Chargers team. And Justin Herbert still doesn't seem totally confident in himself, and there were opportunities against that Chargers defense. Like Tyson Bagent had that deep ball that was just dropped in the end zone. Like there were some good spots for the Bears to get frisky on offense. They just fucked it up.
Who throws a better ball, Bagent or Zach Wilson? I will say, watching Zach Wilson for the game, his ball looks just as good if it's going to go right into the receiver's hands or hit the turf 6 yards out of bounds. You can see why the NFL was tricked by him a little bit. Every ball looks really good.
Ryan in the chat saying Jets are sketchy.
They are. I mean, honestly, like this, I kind of want to invoke the lay the 3.5. Don't take it, Sean, because I'm well aware of the dynamics of this line movement, but
market dynamics.
I watched that team play football last week, and maybe this turns out to be a similar game as to the one that your Eagles played versus the Jets, where they come out, they score a little bit, and then they get stifled, and somehow the Jets bring it back. Against the Chargers was much worse defense, by the way.
But Jets make every game ugly, and that's why I like them getting 3.5. I mean, Jets Giants obviously ugly.
Cowboys probably would be the outlier to that, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, since the second half, Eagles Jets game ugly. Even their win 31-21 over the Broncos ugly. Chiefs 23-20, ugly game. Patriots 15-10 over the Jets, ugly game. They got destroyed by the Cowboys in Dallas, and then they beat they beat the Bills at home. So like almost the only game they didn't play that was ugly in my mind is the Cowboys is at Dallas. Every one of their home games, let's look at the home games. Beat the Bills 22-16 overtime, crazy game, super ugly. Lost to the Patriots 15-10. Belichick always gets them, but they had a chance to win that game at the very end. Lost by 3 points to the Chiefs at home, ugly game. Then beat the Eagles 20-14, ugly game. Now, not technically a home game, as you pointed out, Ryan, but they were in MetLife Stadium and played another ugly game. This is I feel like all the Monday night games have been bad. This will be 17-14.
If the Chargers do well, it's it will be because the running game. The Jets will allow you to run the ball a little bit.
Yeah, and Eckler's been quiet. I don't know what's going on with that.
I kind of want to lay the points though. I'll lay the points. I'll do the right thing.
So just so you have 1, 2, 3 dogs.
Yep.
11-3 on the favorites.
Yep.
It's impressive. Time for our lock, dog, and tease.
Happy birthday.
Lock, dog, and tease. Kramer, not a great week for us. I've gone first last few weeks. Maybe time to switch it. We were 1-4 in the Circuit Millions. I feel like we have to switch it up.
Fair.
Okay.
Are we okay with earlier locks?
What do you mean?
Fuck it. Chiefs -1.5.
Okay.
Lock it up.
AC. I like that.
Yeah. I'm not overthinking this week. Dog. Not like you've mentioned, not a ton of options.
Small options.
And but yeah, I mean, I kind of just I'll stick small dog. Give me the Bills. I was in my head. I was like, do you really want to be on the third Bajent game? Probably not. Like I said, I haven't heard anything about any streams or logs being chopped down this week. So I'm guessing he'll be out of our lives by next week. Justin Fields should be back, I've been told. All right, tease. Let's get this out of the way, Sean. Because I got all this chalk in here. So Cleveland down to -2. It's one of the cleanest.
Teasing PJ Walker. It's dangerous, but
teasing PJ. Yes. We're gonna go Bills +8. Just gonna tease all my dogs and Giants +7.5. We're then gonna go for my second lock. Oh man, I kind of think this is, you know what, Cleveland.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I did not see that coming.
I think Arizona is. I mean, if this was college, we'd want them to be investigated. They're just not trying to win this football game. They traded away Josh Dobbs. They're starting a rookie that they didn't think could handle it at the beginning of the season, so they got Josh Dobbs. And Kyler's going to be ready in a couple weeks. What do you think this is? This is secure the bag. This is tanking. Starting Clayton Tune is tanking. Just like starting. Is Clayton Tune the worst quarterback we'll see this weekend?
Oh, I mean, Brett Rippon, I'm on him, but we'll see.
Oh, he's
Jaron Hall, big unknown.
Oh, that's Atlanta. I saved you putting Atlanta on the card. That you're welcome. Atlanta. I do like Minnesota. You're gonna lock up Jaron Hall.
No, I'm not gonna.
That is out. You are.
I think they are a live dog. But let's see. All right, for my first lock, give me the Eagles -3. A lot of slander being talked about Jalen Hurts and how hurt he is. He gets up, huge spot for my dog.
No one wins when this goes bad now.
What do you
now,
mean?
oh, I told you so.
What do you mean?
That's why this doesn't work. You're just gonna start locking up the Eagles every week now.
No.
Okay.
Producer Josh, one of the top players in the Circuit Millions, he's locking up the Philadelphia Eagles, and that gave me the confidence I needed. For my dog, Give me the New York Jets on the money line plus 140. Chargers always fuck these games up. For my tease, very interesting tease week. I will take Baltimore down to pick. I don't know how you didn't get there, Ryan. That seemed like a tease you would enjoy.
6 points. I mean,
I didn't cross enough key numbers, I guess.
You're paying a little premium.
Next up on the tease slate, I'll take Cleveland down to 2. It is spicy, but I think it's the right angle. And then last but not least, I will take the Washington Redskins up to 9. Kind of dangerous. For my other lock, give me the Cincinnati Bengals -2. Joe Burrow gets it done. Love Joey B. Kramer, what are we doing? Circus Survivor.
No idea.
No, are we gonna? We picked the Browns before. We got to stick with the Browns, right?
Sure. I'm just blown away. Yeah, Browns.
Do you not? You don't want to do the Browns?
No, we should do the Browns.
Okay, put the Browns in. And yeah, there you go. Browns, good spot for them. Not going to use them otherwise. Circa Millions, you got KC -1.5, Cleveland -8, Philly -3. Now you are going against the Bengals with your Buffalo money line, so we don't have to include.
No, we
Cincinnati.
should include it.
Oh, all right. You want to include it?
System play.
Okay, Cincy -2. Very chalky. What will be our consensus play? I also really like Chicago +8.
No, that's fool's gold this week. You don't really want to be in that position watching the fucking shitty ass Saints up 20 late in that game.
Okay, what else?
I mean, I would point to of the games we agree. I don't hate the idea of putting Baltimore in there. I think I do like them. They're close to a lock. I do like Pittsburgh as always, but that seems to be maybe we should quit them for a little bit. And Houston, that's where I would go.
All right, so
I'm not worried about having too many favorites this week.
Okay.
If you look at the breakdown of these games, I mean, these are mostly short favorites at home, Sean.
Yeah,
this isn't weird road favorite week. This is.
I'm locking. You're preaching to the choir. I'm locking up 2 home short favorites. So Houston -2.5, very chalky.
No, we'll go Baltimore 6.
Baltimore -6.
Yeah,
you want them over your.
I know I had the trend as to why you don't take Baltimore in this game, but we're fading Geno more than we're taking Lamar.
True.
Right? Too many minus signs?
No, I do like the Bears. I'll be betting the Bears with the points. I think Bears Vikings money line dog play is kind of fun.
Okay.
But all right. So Browns is our Circa Survivor, Circa Millions. KC -1.5, Cleveland -8, Philly -3, Cincinnati -2, and the Baltimore Ravens -6. Hey, thank you as always. Tune in to the podcast. Check out our recent show Friday night, 9:00 Pacific, midnight East. We'll be giving out our paper ticket parlay. First touchdown, anytime touchdown, last touchdown. That's a fun segment. Maybe some more dogs picking dogs. And yeah, we got. I mean, what else do we have coming up, Ryan? We got a bunch of episodes left on our podcast for the rest of the week.
Props, check.
Yep.
DFS,
and shout out to the guy who sent in a photo of the ladder that he also bought, the small bird cage ladder that he also got.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll be talking props a little earlier tomorrow, Thursday. If you're watching this live, we'll be going live sometime around noon Pacific, talking props with CJ.
And it's the user
will-
JPan_5 saying, "Got my ladder, let's go." And it's the fellow bird ladder.
It's like a group remote Bob Ross session together, but you're building ladders, not painting paintings. And then we got DFS. We'll be live from Vegas on Friday, and then bonus episode Thursday night after the game. Sean, the debut of college basketball.
Oh,
the Colby tells us there's games on Monday, so we'll be talking about them on Thursday.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Get ahead of the schedule.
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, second the money green. He's Ryan.
Hey, it's really limping, Sean.
Kramer, let it ride.